What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're tapping back into Sweden. Came across this video. Got 5 things I wish I knew before moving to Sweden. I always find these things interesting because, I see a lot of people, they make the move and they have a certain amount of information. Then when they get there, it's always different. It's always something that's like, dang, if I did that earlier, I wish I knew that beforehand. In a positive manner, probably not in a negative manner. At least I don't think. But we finna check this out, see what it's about. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Hey, send me more video suggestions. Check it out.
Welcome, loves. I'm Anesha, your Jamaican friend living in Sweden. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, I appreciate you so much. Nice kitchen. So much. Before we get started, I really need to brew some tea, so bear with me. And while it brews, we can just get back to the conversation. So here we go. First thing first, I need to tell you, I kind of lied in the title. So this video is going to be about 6 things I wish I knew before moving to Sweden. Okay. If you're going to move to Sweden for work or move to Sweden for school, then I hope that you know these things. And if you don't, then stick around. So number 1 is personal to me, and that would be the waiting time. Ooh. It took 2 years. It took 2 years before the government said, yeah, you can come live here.
Wow.
I applied to come to live in Sweden to my sambo. A sambo is your boyfriend, but your official boyfriend on paper, if I'm getting that right. It's not your husband, but then it's not like, yeah, he's my boyfriend. Even though you can move to your normal boyfriend. So you don't have to be married to move to someone in Sweden. As long as you guys are dating, even if you're dating for like...
That's interesting. I didn't know you can put on paper that you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. That's different. Usually, like she mentioned, when you get married, that's on paper.
You don't have to be married to move to someone in Sweden. As long as you guys are dating, even if you're dating for like a week, I think that's how it goes. So I moved to Sweden to my sambo. Therefore, I wasn't a priority. Yeah. Oh. And they had an influx, big word.
Influx.
Big word. Influx. They had an influx of refugees coming here at the same time. I think 200,000 people applied to move here when I came. So I was put at the bottom of the list.
That's a lot of people.
They weren't in no rush for me to come here. It took me 2 years. I don't know if there's still like a lot of refugees moving here or if the waiting time is still that long, but it felt like forever. Dang. And this is my experience. I don't know if
2 years. Dang. I feel like that's a long time. 2 years, 200,000 people? Sweden busy.
It would be the same for you. But yeah, went to Cuba twice, got lost there once. Dang. And it was quite expensive. It was a lot of drama and a lot of stress, to be honest. So I wish I had known this before coming here or even applying to come here. Number two would have to be, it's expensive. Jesus, it's expensive.
Super. I always hear that Stockholm is very expensive,
Very expensive. I live in Stockholm.
Oh, okay, yeah. Geez,
and
that makes sense then.
This is first world problems. I know. I'm sorry, but the cost to do my hair is 2,000 crowns. So I have learned to do my hair myself. The cost to do my lashes is...
Hey, go lie. My sister, 200 not bad. I know people paying 5 to 1K. It's getting like that. A haircut for me is almost $50. Like, it's getting that way for the hair product.
Over 1,000 crowns. I can't do it myself, so I still spend it. Dang. But it's expensive for small things. It's somewhat luxury, but I never saw it as luxury. I always saw it as necessity because you have to get your hair done. You have to have your lashes,
Facts.
So small things that are basic are quite expensive. If you want to have fun, it's very pricey. All the good places that you want to go to, it costs money. It's expensive. Dang. And the train card is expensive. Even the bus card is expensive. Everything is just so expensive. I wouldn't be surprised if they start selling.
I can see that being Stockholm, the capital, because I see a lot of people. They say like when you stay in the capitals, it's gonna be more pricier than like the outside towns and cities. So, but I mean, I can say the same. I stay in a small town. Price is not that bad. At least when it comes to housing, those things like that. But we got another small town by us that's growing, and it's more expensive than my town. So it really varies. Then the city's over, expensive to live there, expensive everything. So yeah, small towns matter.
Stockholm is horribly expensive, and I lived in Gothenburg before. I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant. I'm just so passionate about this. Very passionate about this. I lived in Gothenburg before, and the bus cost in Stockholm is double the price from Gothenburg.
That sounds about
alright.
Yeah.
It's double the price.
Crazy.
How? So it's very expensive, especially if you live in Stockholm. Very expensive. And rent. If you want to live, I'll explain the apartment situation, but if you want to live in an apartment by yourself, like you don't want to share with anybody, you don't want to share with a family, you don't want to share with any strangers, you're going to have to pay 10,000 crowns. 10,000 crowns? I'm in my 20s. 10,000 crowns.
So 10,000 crowns, that's pretty much $1,000 US, right? If I'm not mistaken. 1,000 is 100, 2,000, 200.
For an apartment to yourself.
That's not bad. Depending on the type of money you get. That's not bad. But that's like the prices here now. For a 1-bedroom apartment, you paying like $1,200. Me and my wife, when we first lived in an apartment, we got it at a discount because they had a special going on. Usually apartments do this. They'll have a special going on. Oh, it used to be this price. Now, you'll get it for this price since you came at the right time for this special type of thing. We paid about $1,200-1,300 for a two-bedroom. And this was in 2020, before COVID, BC. Like, it's crazy. And the regular price for a 2-bedroom was like $1,500-1,600. And the apartment wasn't all that. That's the crazy thing.
No. A lot of people live with Sambo, family, and so on. But 10,000 crowns. You can have a roommate for probably like 7,000, or it depends on where you live. But rent is expensive. Dang. Everything is expensive. Number 3. Let me cool down. Number 3 would have to be the apartment situation. So how it is, and this is the weirdest thing. So please listen to me. And if you understand, let me know. Or if you want to explain to me why it is this way, let me know. But you have to join a line from the government, and you sign up under them. It's called Stockholm Bostader, which is Stockholm living. So to get an apartment, you sign in with them, and you have to be on a list. Now, if you are on the list for a long time, you can get an apartment. You can be number 1 in the line, and you can get an apartment. Now, sometimes the line has 300 people. Jeez. Sometimes the line has 400 people. If you just join the list, you are going to be number 400, and you will not get an apartment.
Dang.
So you have to be on the list for 15 years. Sometimes you have to be on the list for 11 years.
11 years? By that time, I don't need an apartment. I wouldn't think.
And
I should get a house.
Okay, you can get an apartment after 8 years.
Dang.
These apartments, the rent is cheaper. The rent is not 10,000 crowns. The rent will be like 8,000. Still expensive.
It's still close.
But the rent is going to be cheaper, And the problem is...
Yeah, I'll definitely be like, I need to find some land. I'll just build my own house at this point.
Swedish parents, they register their children from their children are 13. So by the time their children are 21, 22, they can have an apartment. If you just move in here, you are not on that list. So you move in here at 35, you move in here at 21.
That's some early preparation right there.
I moved here at 20. You move in here when you kind of want to live on your own, or you want to have your space, and you can't get an apartment because you have to be on the list for 15 years.
So I'm gonna have to know somebody so I can have somewhere to sleep. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think my tea is ready. Give me 1 second. Hey, we're back.
I wonder what the prices were in Gothenburg. I mean, she said double, so at least for like maybe food or like hair products and stuff like. I wonder what it is living in Gothenburg then.
That's my problem. I wish I knew that before coming here, because I don't know if I could change anything about it, but it's really hot. Let me put it down for a second. I don't know if I'll change anything about it, but my God, it is hard to get an apartment, basically. So you probably have to live with 4 roommates. Dang. Or you can just live alone and pay 10,000 crowns if you don't want to have 3-4 roommates.
She's young though, so that is a lot.
Yeah. So that's the third one I wish I knew before moving here. Apartments are hard to get. They're building new apartments though, and a lot of people
gotta be first on that list.
So the bright side, and I'll touch on this later, is that most people that were born here, they can afford an apartment by 25. They can afford an apartment soon, you know? Even if you work at Volvo, a lot of people work at Volvo. Even if you work at Fika, if you work at H&M, you know, H&M is Swedish, you can own an apartment in your mid-20s, early 20s. So a lot of people just buy instead of renting because the waiting time is so long.
Dang.
So yeah, I kind of wish I knew that before moving here. We're going to go to number 4. So number 4 would have to be the social norms and the way that it's very introverted, you know? I'm from a very extroverted country. In case you don't know, you can watch my videos, you know? My previous videos. I can link them below. I'm from Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah, at Calambia. And everybody is just so social, and I was going to say they have, but I still have it. We have a community mindset where you just talk to people and you help your neighbors. It gets annoying sometimes, so there's a good and a bad to that. But people just talk to you on the street. They just talk to you like they know you. You're standing in the line somewhere, and the person behind you just start talking to you. I'm like, oh, you see the news? You know that I heard that this happened? You heard about the flood that's going on? You know, the hurricane coming soon, you know? Have you boarded up your house yet? You know, people just talking to you like they know you. And then they see you on the road and they go, hey, Slimmers, hey. Whatever, they're just talking to you like they know you. You know, and then you see them on the street again and they're like, oh, you want a ride? They're so friendly. I didn't think they were friendly. I thought it was normal. But then when I come to Sweden and I try talking to people, I feel so weirded out because they're being polite, but you can see that they're uncomfortable. It's like, why are you talking to me? I don't know you. Why are you talking to me? Hi. Okay. Yeah.
Be like, oh, do I know you? Have we met before?
I'm fine. You know, they kind of put the pleasant face on because they don't want to be rude, but you can tell they're uncomfortable. So I don't talk to strangers anymore. I remember I was working at this store before, and my coworker, she was talking to me, and this is another thing. Even if you're not talking to strangers and you're probably just you're probably just talking to people maybe you work with, they're being professional and polite, but it's very hard to get as close to them as you want. When you just move to a new country, you want to have new friends or more friends, and it's very hard to get close to a Swedish person. I think you know them on a hey kind of conversation level. But yeah, because my coworker, I told her that I just moved here, blah blah blah, and I was talking to her, not where I work now, but a previous job. I was talking to her like, oh yeah, I just moved here, blah blah blah, and she said, oh, you know, we should go out, we should have fika. So I said, okay, cool, no problem, and I went, and she didn't show up.
Dang.
I went back to work. I didn't bring it up, of course. I just said, hey, how are you? How was your weekend? Because I was supposed to see her the weekend. I said, how was your weekend? She said, you know, it's fine, I hung out with my boyfriend, blah blah blah. I said, oh, okay. You know, so I think it's very...
Dang, I mean, did they set up a time and stuff. Usually when somebody have a fika, you gotta be there. You gotta be there for that fika.
Weird. I don't know. I still don't know what happened. I don't know what hint to take from that.
I would have been like, hey, where were you at? You missed the fika.
It's very hard to get as close to them as you want because they were raised here. They have their friends from they were 2 and they're still friends now. And it's pretty hard to make new friends because of the introverted society. Plus it's cold out. It is cold. It is cold outside. I'm going to show you how it looks. It is now 2 o'clock. It's now 2 p.m. 14.
It looks like it's already getting dark.
It's now It's now 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's now 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And it looks very dark. So when it's this cold, nobody's going outside. I'm not going outside.
I definitely don't.
Therefore, it's not so social. And yeah. Number 5 would be that you can survive here without speaking the language. This is especially good for those people that don't want to speak another language. Maybe you're older and you don't want to start over or be humbled, because it's very humbling to do the a or it's very humbling to be saying ABCs and singing the jingles and asking what I had to do. It's very humbling. But basically, I know people that have lived here for 10 years that don't speak the language.
Oh wow.
I think it helps more if you move here and you have I think it helps more if you move to Sweden and you already have university or you already have experience in a field, so that you can come and you don't need to find a job. And if you know people here already, because everybody here speaks English, or everybody here knows English, not everyone is willing to speak English with you, but yeah, you don't have to speak the language to get along here. I actually found out that my Swedish isn't so good. And when I speak Swedish to Swedes, they're like, yeah, let's go to English. Okay. So you can survive without speaking the language. Which is always a good thing. I think that's a pro and a con. I don't know, because it kind of stops you from growing how you want and integrating as much as you want. But then it's good for when you just get here. I think you can still enjoy the country, but not as much as you'd like to. And I know people that have lived here for 15 years, and if you say something like "Vad gör du igår?" they're like, "What?" So they've lived here for 15 years and they don't pick up the basics. It's weird, but it's probably good for people that don't want to speak another language.
And then too, most times, like I say this, when in community, you might have people that came here and lived here for like 20-something years and stuff, but they still don't pick up because the people they're surrounded with probably still talk a certain language. That's why I said with my wife's parents, her parents, they speak Spanish. So, of course, when I started coming around and stuff, they still didn't know much English, and they've been here for 20 plus years. Why? Because everybody that they've spoken to or speak with still spoke Spanish. So it was like they didn't really have to speak a lot of English because the people they surrounded with, and there were options to talk to people in Spanish.
Number 6, the last and final one, is going to be, you don't have to have a lot of money to be okay here. Hold on, let me drink my tea.
That's an interesting take, for it to be expensive
to be okay here. Hold on, let me drink my tea. You have people that are 25 that have apartments because it's so expensive to find one. And that's pretty much the norm. Not everybody that's 25 has an apartment. And that's possibly because not everyone wants to own one. But you don't have to have a lot of money to be okay. You can be working at Burger King, you can be working at McDonald's, and you'll still be fine. Because the minimum wage is pretty good. And it's a socialist country, so the living standard can't be above what a janitor is making.
Oh wow, that's
a lot of people. I think a good amount of Swedes have a house in Spain by the time they're 40. So mid-40s, maybe 50. They have a house in Sweden and a house in Spain. So it's not a country where you have to be a doctor or a lawyer. It's not capitalism. So it's not a country where you have to be a doctor, a lawyer, a surgeon, or something like that to be okay. You're not really living hand to mouth here, regardless of what job you have. So that's a good thing, and
yeah, always good.
That's a great thing. Because
minimum wage is still ridiculous. Like, even if they raise it to $15 here in the States, that's still not enough. They asking for 3-4 times your income just to get an apartment. These are apartments that used to be, I remember when I was younger, like parents, grandparents used to pay like $300-400 a month. These same apartments that probably changed a little bit are now $1,200-1,400 a month. It's crazy.
Before you move here. And on that, I am going to end this video.
I'm gonna need me a house in Spain.
And I will see you next week. I'm Anesha. Oh, by the way, can you subscribe? It would be nice for my channel. If you like this video, like it. And you can share it to a friend to help my channel out, because I am growing, and you can join me and watch me grow. I'll see you next week. Later.
This was good. Yeah, that apartment thing, that's different. I couldn't imagine my mom put me on the list when I'm 12, 13 just so I can get this apartment by 21. But that's a long time. I didn't know that many people were moving to Sweden. Sweden is busy. Because I sent the package to Sweden and it's still not there. And that was like a month or so ago. So I don't know what's going on in Sweden. But yeah, those are some good tips right there. Like she said, she really 6 instead of 5. But, you know, just knowing that you will still be okay. You know, when the language barrier with the money, because like she said, the living, the wages are gotta exceed or gotta be higher than the living standards and stuff. So, but that's a good thing. But I enjoy this. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all definitely gotta let me know about the apartment situation thing. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. But that's all I have. Y'all hit that subscribe button, send those video suggestions, and y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.